everybody, this is Sue with Salvaterra Pottery, and this afternoon I am making a bunch of utensil holders. It has been a continuously good selling little piece for us, so who couldn't use a utensil holder sitting beside their stove so they can easily pull out their spatula or whatever. So here it is, and not that it really needs handles on it, but I like to put handles on it just because I think it jazzes it up a little bit, because otherwise it's just a straight cylinder. And this will be a very basic throwing tutorial, so I'll try to go into some specifics about how I hold my hands and everything, since it's just a straight cylinder. And we add the handles on after it gets what they call leather hard, which means the clay is stiff enough to where you can put the handles on it without distorting it, but it still has water in it, and it's not completely dry, so the handles will stick to the pot. So let's throw our utensil holder. I am using 2 pounds of clay for my utensil holder, and it stands, I don't know, about 7-8 inches tall. So it'll hold a nice amount of utensils. So here we go. Take your ball of clay, throw it on the wheel, try to get it to stick, and let's center. So I'm cupping both my hands around it and slowly pulling the clay up. I have my elbows anchored on my legs, and I am holding my hands steady, and I'm controlling what the clay does. The clay is not controlling what I do. So I always like to start out with what I call a pancake, which is a nice flat on the top and down straight on the sides. I use this kind of hand movement. This hand, my right hand on the side, is holding the side wall, and this hand, my left hand, is pressing down on the clay to get this centered ever so perfectly. So this establishes the width of the pot that I'm going to make. So this is basically the width of my utensil holder. Okay, since this is 2 pounds of clay and not like a quarter pound, I'm going to go down to the middle with a couple of fingers. And you can see I'm holding my hands together. They're touching each other. My right hand is staying to the side, keeping the clay from going off center. My left hand is pushing down in the middle. So I'm going down to a point where I think I've got 1/4 of an inch left on the bottom of the pot. And you can see I collared it in a little bit. Okay, I've got to work on my bottom a little bit. I'm just evening it out so it is the same thickness all the way across. So it takes a minute to do that. There we go. So if you watch my other videos, you know I'm a production potter. I'm out of Weaverville, North Carolina, which is right outside of Asheville. We are a big art community, many galleries to sell through and shops and everything. We're here in the mountains of North Carolina, and it's a great place to be an artist. We have a lot of good company. Plus we have high water clay that is out of Asheville that supplies all kinds of clay, tools, everything you could possibly imagine that you need for your pottery. So nice to have them only 15 minutes away, because if you need something, you just run over to high water and you get it. So also a new, not brand new, relatively new group, the Village Potters. They also sell tools, and they sell Laguna clay. Love the Laguna clay. Love the folks over there. Wonderful teaching studio. They teach at all different levels. So I've even taken classes over there. So shout out to Village Potters. Love the folks over there. Okay, so you saw the first pull. I'm going to establish my next pull. I set a thickness, which I keep going in 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I usually do 3 pulls. So set the thickness, pull it up, all the way up. I keep my hands hooked together as much as I can. Once it gets taller, you can't keep your hands together, but as much as you can keep your hands together from the outside hand and inside hand, the better you do. So, and compress on the top. So some of the things that you want to be concerned about is you want your bottom thickness to be, the bottom wall to be about the same thickness down here as it is up here. You don't want to leave it really heavy on the bottom and then really light on top. A good pot has a similar wall from top to bottom. Alright. So, one of the things you always see me do, not everybody does this, I like to keep my bottom right here nice and clean, and most people will cut some of the clay off. I actually push it back into the piece because heck, I weighed that out. I want to use it, and I sure as heck don't want to have to pug the extra scraps because that's just extra work. Since we're a production pottery studio, we try to be as efficient as possible, and to me that's a tiny little efficiency tip. Okay, that's even relatively straight, but I want this to look really, really straight. A lot of times when I have a piece that I want straight, I take this mud tool and I just put it against the piece, and then I start down at the bottom and run my hand on the inside against that mud tool, and it helps me straighten up that piece some. So let's do that. Plus it helps also knock off those ridges a little bit. Okay, so now the piece is relatively straight. I'm going to trim the bottom. And then I like a flare on the top of mine. So add that little flare on it. It's just a stylistic thing that I like. And then I take my mud tool, my mud sponge rib tool. It's a newer tool for me. I've only been using it for about a month, but I have fallen in love with it. Okay, so it's pretty much cleaned up. And that is going to be our utensil holder. Run the cutting wire underneath it. So when I'm running my cutting wire, I push it down on both ends like this and then pull it across. It's so easy to let this go up and even cut into your pot. So push it down real tight to your bat and pull it straight across to cut. Okay, off it comes. So that is going to be a utensil holder. Tomorrow, once it's stiffened up, I'll put the handles on it. We will talk to you next time. Appreciate you stopping by. Visit Salvaterra Pottery. Give us a like if this was helpful. Hope you follow us or subscribe to us. That always helps. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.